What happens when an undercover CEO works as a waiter at his own restaurant, only to discover his staff's shocking behavior? Let's dive to see. Marcus Reed was a man of great vision and deep passion. He owned and led the small but growing restaurant Clear Horizon in a busy part of a modern American city. Known for his kindness and a strong belief in hard work, Marcus built Clear Horizon from scratch. His dream was to create a place where simple food and honest service brought hope to all who entered. Marcus, with his warm brown eyes and gentle smile, was respected by everyone. He always spoke simple words, carrying wisdom in each of his sentences. "A small step each day leads to big changes," he often said, inspiring both his staff and his customers. But behind his calm and steady voice, Marcus was a man who felt deeply and cared for each detail in his business. One crisp autumn morning, Marcus decided to learn more about his restaurant. He had heard some murmurs and noticed little hints that not all was well behind the scenes. He wondered, do my staff truly share the same care for Clear Horizon as I do? To answer that question, Marcus planned something unusual. Without letting anyone know, he would work as a waiter in his own restaurant. For weeks, Marcus carefully prepared his disguise. He chose plain clothes, a simple apron, and a cap that hid his familiar features. The next day, as the sun rose over the city, Marcus stepped into Clear Horizon, not as the CEO, but as an ordinary waiter. His heart beat with both hope and a touch of worry. He wanted to see things as they really were, and he was ready to face whatever truth lay hidden in his own creation. Marcus started his day by greeting customers with genuine warmth. He served each dish with careful attention and a friendly word. At first, everything seemed ordinary. The kitchen hummed with activity, and the dining area filled with the sound of quiet conversation and the clinking of utensils. However, as the day went on, Marcus began to notice strange details. He observed how his staff interacted with each other. There was Derek Brooks, a waiter who always carried a smile, but his eyes sometimes darted nervously when he thought no one was watching. Trevor Greene, the chef, was normally known for his careful work in the kitchen, yet Marcus saw him sneaking away from the kitchen more than once with closed eyes and a heavy heart. Miles Turner, another waiter, kept whispering with Connor Hayes, the young busboy, in corners away from the public view. Marcus felt a growing heaviness in his chest. Something was not right. In quiet moments, while clearing a table or refilling a glass of water, he listened to hushed voices and caught half-sentences that hinted at secrets and hidden resentments. The true spirit of his restaurant seemed to be fading, replaced by behavior that did not match the values he had worked so hard to build. Marcus spent the day talking softly with customers, asking about their experience. Many mentioned that the food was fine, but the service sometimes felt rushed and careless. A man sitting alone at a corner table said quietly, "There is a sadness in the air, as if the people who serve us are burdened by secrets." Marcus felt the sting of these words. He thought of all the hours he had spent planning every detail, only to see that a deeper problem was at hand. That evening, after the last customer had left, Marcus stayed behind under the pretense of cleaning up. While other staff members went home, he remained in the quiet restaurant, his ears open for any sign of conversation that might reveal the truth. In the dim light of the closing hours, Marcus heard voices in the back room that made his heart sink. Derek Brooks and Trevor Greene were talking in low, urgent tones. "We cannot keep living like this," said Derek, his voice shaking with a mix of fear and anger. Trevor nodded, adding, "We have worked hard for this place, but the way things are run, it is not fair to us or the customers. We deserve more than just being seen as workers." Their words suggested a deep sense of betrayal. Marcus listened from behind a door, his heart pounding. The staff felt that their hard work was taken for granted, and now resentment had grown. Marcus felt torn. On one side was his deep commitment to the restaurant, a place he had built with dreams and sweat. On the other side was the painful truth that his staff, the very people he trusted, felt ignored and unappreciated. Their behavior was shocking in that it showed a break in trust and respect. They had started a secret discussion about changes they believed were necessary, perhaps even planning to make decisions without him. Marcus left the back room with a heavy heart, his mind racing. He knew that the only way to fix the problem was to face it directly. But he also understood that to rebuild trust, he must first understand the pain that lay beneath the surface. The next day, Marcus resumed his role as a waiter with quiet determination. He listened more than he spoke, allowing each word from his customers and staff to sink in. In one quiet corner of the dining room, a regular customer named Brandon, a kind man who visited often, shared his own thoughts. "I feel that something is off here," Brandon said softly. "There is a hidden sorrow among you all, a quiet hurt that no one seems to address." Marcus took these words to heart. He spent the next few days observing his staff. Slowly, he noticed more subtle signs of the underlying issues. Connor Hayes, who often hurried around clearing tables, looked exhausted and troubled. Miles Turner, who usually smiled brightly, now had a distant look in his eyes. The secret meetings among the staff continued, and whispers of unfair treatment and broken promises spread like shadows in the quiet halls of Clear Horizon. Unable to bear the growing tension, Marcus decided that the truth must be confronted. One evening, after the restaurant had closed, he gathered his most trusted staff members in a small, empty dining room. With a steady voice, he spoke of his own feelings and his deep love for the restaurant. "I have built Clear Horizon with hope and care," he began. "I see now that I have not listened to you as I should have. I know you feel overlooked, and I am sorry for the hurt you have felt." The confession was a turning point. His words, filled with genuine emotion and a desire for change, touched the hearts of those present. Derek Brooks, who had led the secret talks, stepped forward. "We have felt lost and unappreciated," he said, his voice trembling with emotion. "We wanted to make changes, to be heard, but we did not know how to speak up to you directly." It was a moment of truth. In that quiet room, Marcus and his staff shared their deepest feelings. The conversation was long and emotional, filled with both sorrow and hope. Marcus listened as each man spoke of his struggles, of long hours, and the feeling of being taken for granted. They shared sad quotes like, "Even the brightest star can dim without care," and motivational words like, "A true team rises from the ashes of its troubles." As days turned into weeks, Marcus worked hard to rebuild the spirit of Clear Horizon. He made changes that respected the feelings and ideas of every staff member. He began to hold regular meetings where every man could speak openly about his work and his dreams for the future. Marcus even set up a small fund to reward hard work and to show his commitment to a fair work environment. Yet, just as things seemed to be healing, another twist emerged. One evening, while reviewing the restaurant's accounts, Marcus discovered that a small amount of money had been misused. At first, he thought it might be a simple mistake, but as he looked closer, he saw that this misuse was part of a larger pattern. Some funds that were meant to improve the restaurant had slowly disappeared over the past few months. Marcus felt a mix of sadness and determination. He realized that the misused money was linked to the secret meetings he had overheard. Some staff members had taken a wrong turn in their struggle for respect. Their hurt had led them to make choices that betrayed the trust Marcus had placed in them. The pain was deep and real. It was not just about money. It was about the broken bonds between a leader and his team. Marcus gathered his staff once more. In the quiet glow of the restaurant's late-night light, he spoke with clear emotion. "We have a difficult truth before us. I trusted you, and I gave you all the freedom to build this place with me. But some of us have lost our way. We must face this truth with courage. We must find a path that brings us together instead of tearing us apart." The room fell silent. For a long time, no one spoke. Then Derek Brooks, his eyes filled with regret, admitted, "I was a part of those who misused the funds. I acted out of anger and a feeling of abandonment. I am deeply sorry for betraying your trust." His confession was like a cold wind, chilling and real. Other staff members followed, each admitting their part in the error, each expressing regret and a wish to be better. This twist shook Marcus to his core, but it also strengthened his resolve. He believed in second chances. "We all make mistakes," he said softly. "What matters is that we learn from them and move forward as one team." His words, though simple, carried the weight of truth, and a promise for a new beginning. In the weeks that followed, Clear Horizons slowly healed. Marcus took concrete steps to restore the trust that had been broken. He reworked the rules of the restaurant, making them fair and clear for everyone. Regular meetings became a time for honest conversation, and every man was given the chance to share his ideas and concerns. Marcus even set aside a portion of the restaurant's earnings to invest in training and better working conditions for his staff. The atmosphere in Clear Horizon changed. Where once there was silence and hidden anger, now there was open talk and shared purpose. Derek Brooks worked hard to regain the trust of his colleagues. Trevor Greene redoubled his efforts in the kitchen, making each dish with a sense of care that touched every customer. Miles Turner and Connor Hayes began to smile again, their eyes reflecting hope rather than sorrow. Customers noticed the change too. Brandon, the kind regular, remarked one evening, "There is a new light in Clear Horizon. I see it in the way you serve us, in every smile and every kind word. It tells me that true change comes from the heart." These simple words warmed Marcus, for they confirmed that the changes he had set in motion were making a real difference. One cold winter night, as the restaurant prepared to close, Marcus stayed a little longer. He walked slowly through the empty dining room, his mind filled with memories of all the long nights and hard days. He thought about the journey from the moment he decided to work undercover to this very moment of quiet reflection. His heart was heavy with the pain of betrayal, yet it was lifted by the hope of a new beginning. Marcus recalled a line he once read, "The darkest nights produce the brightest stars." He realized that even in the midst of hurt and deception, there could be a path to healing and growth. Every mistake, every hidden sorrow, had led to a deeper understanding of what it meant to lead with empathy and truth. Months passed, and Clear Horizon continued to flourish under the renewed spirit of its team. The story of the Undercover CEO had become a lesson not only for Marcus and his staff, but for everyone who believed in the power of honest work and genuine care. Marcus Reed learned that leadership is not about control or power, but about listening and understanding. His willingness to step down from his high office and work alongside his staff had opened the door to a new era for Clear Horizon. One evening, as Marcus closed the restaurant for the night, he looked out at the dark sky and whispered, "In every heart, there is a spark of hope. Even in the toughest times, we must hold on to the truth and let it guide us forward." His words, soft yet resolute, echoed in the empty space, carrying the promise of tomorrow. The journey was not without challenges. There were days when old wounds reopened and trust was hard to rebuild. But every time, Marcus and his team met those moments with honesty and a desire to do better. They replaced silence with conversation and suspicion with understanding. Each man played his part, and together they restored the spirit of Clear Horizon. Clear Horizon had become more than a restaurant. It had grown into a symbol of hope, a place where every mistake was a chance to learn, and every sorrow a lesson in forgiveness. The story of the Undercover CEO had spread quietly among the city's residents, a story of a man who dared to see the truth and, in doing so, brought light back to a place that had once been shrouded in hidden despair. Marcus Reed's journey was a reminder that true leadership means walking in the shoes of those you lead. It meant understanding that behind every smile and every plate of food lay a human heart, capable of both great love and deep hurt. His story taught that redemption is always possible when we face our truths, learn from our errors, and choose to build a future based on respect and care. In the end, Clear Horizon shone as a beacon of renewal. Every day, as the restaurant filled with the sound of simple greetings and heartfelt thanks, Marcus Reed knew that the most important ingredient in his success was the unity and honesty of his team. Their shared struggles had become the foundation of a brighter, more compassionate future. A future where every man was valued, every voice was heard, and every heart beat with the hope of a new dawn. That's the story, friends. I hope you enjoyed it. It was a pleasure sharing it with you all. Don't forget to comment below and let me know where you're watching from. It's always fun to see the global reach of these stories. And if you haven't already, please hit that subscribe button for more amazing stories, tips, and tricks. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye. If you'd like to show some extra love, tap the 3 dots near the share button and send a super thanks.